Gracias. Tonight, I want to speak about purpose, pleasure, pain, and growth. And as always, I like going back and forth between duality and spectrum. The feminine energy, by its very nature, like Mother Nature, is chaotic. I discussed this in a video recently. Oh, ironic, the flame. Whereas the masculine, the sun, has to have a consistent output. Must show up to work every day and have a consistent output because so much is depending upon him. Whereas the feminine, through the masculine's power and leadership, is given the time and space to go through cycles. And that's a triple entendre. In that conflict, in that friction, in that dynamic, ideally, two things should arise between the masculine and the feminine. The female's chaos should further spur the masculine energy in his pursuits and goals and mission and objective, higher calling, noble path. Which again, part of my beef with the demonic and satanic and left-hand paths is they are very feminine and selfish and chaotic and self-serving in nature. Which again, isn't to say that these elements aren't necessary, are not a part of existence. But in today's society, the masculine side of things has been greatly disempowered. And that's why we also see lies running so rampant. Because what is the man's job, the masculine's job, again, going back to the sun, to the truth, to that singularity? It's to bring things back into alignment with truth and into the proper frequency, to hold the line, to be the base. The masculine's been disempowered again through endocrine disruptors. I mean, it's happened to females too, but to toxic masculinity, to where again the most masculine traits have been demonized and labeled in a negative light, primarily due to the media and the liberal side of things. So that way, truth is not spoken. So that way, compliance and obedience, which again are, and submissiveness, which are again more feminine traits, are exhibited more within society, which then leads to us as a species being more manipulated and controlled. Never ceases to infuriate me that the ancestors of this country started it over attacks on T, and now we allow ourselves to get fucking railed by governments and agencies and organizations because it's been a death by 1,000 cuts. And that has, again, the root of it is a disruption in the power structure of how things should be. But again, this is necessary. It is necessary for the feminine, it is necessary for the dark to test the light in its ability to reach and penetrate. Because a man who cannot speak truth to her against her bullshit and lies cannot defend against such things towards her, towards children, etc. And also, again, just very dynamic. But the very nature of her weather and storms is meant to test the resolve and strength of the mountain in that very rock aspect of the masculine, the stoic energy. Going back to fields, emotions, and thoughts. When the contrast of the masculine and the feminine interact, there is a shift ever constantly in the power struggle. I saw this in the Marine Corps as well. This happens on everything. As I've talked about how when opposing forces meet, there's an energy exchange. In order to shamanize and heal one person, I have to be able to manage my energy, the energy of space, and the energy of the other person. It's my responsibility. As a squad leader in the Marine Corps, 12 men under me. Platoon Sergeant, 59. Pit NCO, 150 at a time. People I had to control, dominate, lead, father, Führer, fire, purifier, purifier. And the typical reaction of a lot of people is to rebel, which is good. I don't hate women for testing the men in their lives. I don't despise darkness for existing, because I know it's born of the light. I see the game for what it is. But it's important that we as men become conscious in the ways that we've given our power away. I see it so much in relationships of where men have castrated themselves and emasculated themselves over the months, years, decades of being in a long-term relationship. I've also played Advocatus Diaboli. I've also seen it before of where a woman has actually, you know what? And that dynamic is different. When a woman loses all her power in that relationship, she doesn't become more masculine in a way. I mean, she's taking charge, but she's leading with the chaos. So everything is just very chaotic. Again, this isn't misogyny, this isn't hate, this is speaking very, again, no one is more hated than he ego sum ille, speaks the truth. And just call a spade a spade. Which again comes back to the never-ending lesson of truth is frequency, and frequency is a medicine, and the farther away you are from it, the less palatable and the less it resonates. And I can almost already hear someone saying like, no, Nubu, that's your truth. Again, we look at this very mathematically speaking. Before there was anything and everything, there was something out of the nothing that made everything. Again, when you really reduce it down mathematically, and this universe is all mathematical, again, Tesla said it best. If you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of frequency and vibration. Which again, frequency and vibration can both reduce down to mathematics. Between waveforms, shapes, cymatics, sound, light. And before there could be all these different integers, there had to be one denominator before it all. So with that being said, whatever is closest to that denominator in terms of whether one says channeling or messenger or in alignment with that one true God, they might be speaking a good bit of truth. Which I'm not to say I don't always miss the mark. I do sin, and I do miss the mark. The goalpost is constantly changing. I think part of the reason why arrogance and confidence have been associated and confused is not an accident. It's by design. Because no one is more dangerous than a man who is sure of himself, who he is, where he gets his gnosis from, who sets him on his path, his calling, his direction, things that lie before him. No one's more dangerous than that man. And so society does not want confident, courageous, God-driven, connected men. Because it enables chaos. And they profit off of the chaos. They profit off of the suffering. Again, we can look at the one YouTube video of the woman who has the nail in her forehead. And the man, the husband, comes up to her and, he's like, yeah, that just really sucks. And it's like, but, there's a nail in here. It's like, oh my God, like, it's not a nail. Like, why can't you just listen to how I feel? Because again, the feminines and the feelings, that's what rules their reality. They're true to their feelings, because that's their true nature, which is fine. But feelings are fleeting. Feelings are very much moment to moment, which again, from a shamanic standpoint, I use a lot more intuition than I do logic when it comes to my work. It's a very intuitive practice. It's very feminine. But when conducting military strategy in business, things that we need to have timelines, we need to have certain metrics made, again, so we survive, right? We kill more of them than they kill of us. We make more money than we spend. The survival of a species, having logic pattern and the ability, because again, logically, like AI has logic, it learns from its mistakes, you know. The beauty in having an adversarial force, such as again the feminine present with the masculine, is it provides a constant stressor to test one's resolve and love of truth. I think, in a way, it's God kind of like making a joke of, you know, this is going to be one of the most ecstatic experiences of your existence, but at the same time, if you put it before me as a false idol, you will suffer greatly, boy. I just want to end this on thank you, God. I am so grateful for all of the lessons, blessings, rejections, protections, attacks, defenses, everything that you have given to me. Gloria Padre.